Hello and welcome you all to the webinar on Ivan e-commerce enhancement features. And it's nice and good to see such a good response. And I really thank and appreciate for taking out your time to attend the webinar today. So I can see very well that we have attendees across the globe. And myself, Suvendu Paul from City Access and working as a manager consulting, and I will preside over the webinar of Ivan e-commerce now. Okay. Further, I would really appreciate and encourage you all to put forward your questions and to restrict your questions to the topics which I am going to cover today. And to tell you about that, there are other channels available for your queries like support. You have forums on CKP. You have the CKP also, so wherein you can find knowledge articles, the questions answered in forums to enhance and enrich your understanding of the product. Raising questions, coming to an important point. So how you can raise your questions during the webinar or at the end of the webinar. So either you can raise your hand or you can line up your queries on the chat window. So whenever I'll find a suitable time during the presentation, I'll stop over and look at your queries and then answer your queries, or maybe at the end of the session. So once again, thank you, and let me continue with my webinar and welcome you all once again to this webinar of Ivan e-commerce. Talking about the agenda today, we'll try and highlight some of the very good and important features of Ivan e-commerce, which really will help you in understanding about the product and certain configurations that you should know. Before I proceed further, I would like to tell you all that I will appreciate if you have a little knowledge of technical like HTML, CSS, XML, XSLT. Not an in-depth one, but over an high level, so that you understand the topics that I am going to discuss today. Okay. To start with, we'll look at the configurable optional billing and shipping address on a create customer account page, along with several other configurations that are available on that page. Next, we'll look into addition of multiple new arrival widget on home page of Skin 103. Just to add over here, as you know that with the release of Ivan 1.5, we have multiple skins which you offer from Ivan e-commerce. So a shopper or a retailer can have a different view of skins which they can choose from. Okay. And also I'll be switching from one skin to the other and showing you the capabilities so that you understand that, okay, this is kind of how things happen with the skins. Next, we'll try and highlight how to comment the newsletter option in Skin 103 and the store locator link. Why I'm saying so is because at times customers or the retailers doesn't want to go with the newsletter option or the store locator if they have only Ivan e-commerce as a solution. Next, we'll look at some other skins, the changing color of the skins with the help of CSS change, which is available on Skin 104 and 106. Further, we'll explore how to configure a store locator, because I have found this that there are several queries come in around this particular thing. So how to configure the store locator in Ivan e-commerce and how to set up all those things. The configuring the chat service, how do you do that? We'll further look at adding a new footer link with a page creation. So we'll see the page creation along with the footer link. Then changing the footer format, configuring shipping scheduler, sending welcome mail after the initialization of Ivan e-commerce, handling customers from Ivan POS with a password, and to end the session, we'll be looking at the payment profile setup. So as I was talking, the first thing, the configuring optional billing and shipping address on create customer page. Okay, so if you can look into this particular screen shot here, I am showing you the new create account page, and on the left hand side we have kind of configurations that needs to be done. So I hope by now you have a fair amount of idea regarding the two consoles of iVend eCommerce, which is admin console and the shopper console. Okay, so let me now take you to the product and show you how this happens. So this I am talking of the shopper consoles, as we can see over here. So this is Skin 105, which happens to be part of demo stack. Okay, and let me take you to the admin console over here. So this is the admin console login screen. I have opened the two consoles in two different browsers, and this is what needs to be done in your case as well. So I log in with my credentials in the admin console. So this is how the home page of admin console looks, and this is how the home page of shopper console looks. So the first point that you are talking of, the configuration optional billing and shipping address. So where I can find this? So let me click on create an account on the home page of the Skin 105. Now if I scroll down, I can see the create new account thing, which have all the details. And here after that, I don't see to enter any place my billing and shipping address, right? Now it has been found that in many instances, people don't want to have the entire details of billing and shipping address on the same page as create new account, because while creating the new account, they want to just enter the minimal information so that they can register um, to iVend eCommerce, right? But if need arises and if retailer wants, it might be possible that in a B2B case, you want to have the billing and shipping info also on the create new account page. So iVend eCommerce gives you that flexibility to add or not to add billing and shipping address thing onto the same page. So let me just configure it for you. And for those who have or those who are seeing the iVend eCommerce products for the first time, so in the iVend eCommerce admin console, we have a configuration menu where you can configure all the feature functionalities related thing in iVend eCommerce. And we have an app config parameters as a very important, or we can say the heart of the application, wherein several configurations are available which needs to be configured. So in this case, if we type something account like create account, and it will list down all the settings related to the create account over here. Okay, so herein you can see the create account required address to, required company, required last name, nickname. I will just come to that, but before that let me show you the billing and shipping address first. So create account dot show billing address, here it is false. So if I click on this, it will open up the app config or say application configuration, and we need to click on the yes and say save and close. So after doing that, we need to do this for shipping address as well. Here we can see that it was set to no, so that's why we are not able to see the billing and shipping address. After doing the configurations, we click on the reset cache to see the changes into effect. Now I will refresh the page of create account by doing F5 or say Control R. And herein you can see, if you scroll down, we can see now the billing information and shipping information is coming. Now this is how it can be set. So we can see that how easy it is to set up billing and shipping information onto the same page. Otherwise, after registering, the user needs to log in and go into the my account page, and therein you can create the billing and shipping address. Okay, Frank, you have a question. Can we disable the function create account on shopper page? Create an account, yes, it can be commented, so it will get hidden from here. So it's nothing as disable, but you can hide it. So obviously I have a topic during my presentation regarding the store locator. Therein you can learn that thing. Okay, so this is how on the create account page we have the billing and shipping information together. So the customer needs to fill in and they can now move ahead. So it has check boxes same as account info above or same as billing info. Whatever details you enter in the billing will automatically be copied onto the shipping as soon as you click on this checkbox. All right. So and just to say you that here you can see that the first name is the mandatory one because it has a star on it, and last name is non-mandatory. So we saw that we have another configuration which says that create account last name mandatory kind of thing. So if you want in your iVendy Commerce shopper console page that the shopper should or must enter the last name also, so you can make this configuration as true, and what will happen is that then the user will be prompted if they don't enter the last name as well. Right. Similarly, you can see that address 1 is mandatory, whereas address 2 is not mandatory. So we have a configuration related to that. If you want that the user should enter address 2 also into the system, you can mark this as mandatory by just simply configuring it that you want this address to be as mandatory. And also to let you know, obviously you can change the labels of this address 1 and address 2. If you want to say that the primary address, or it may be the house number with lane, or maybe the flat number or something like that. So you can change the labels that you can see over here with a feature known as string resource manager. Okay. Now let me take you to the next point. Okay. Now here we are talking about a very important one, multiple new arrival widget on home page of Skin 103. Now we'll just look into the skin of 103 and we'll see what I'm trying to refer here. So let me go there. So let me now open Skin 103. So this is Skin 103, and if I scroll down, this is a featured product section. Then I have this new arrival section. Okay. Here we can see that widget is coming wherein you have navigation as well, right? Now I want that there's a requirement that my customer asks, okay, there's a panel or this widget. I want to repeat this for other categories as well because this is the landing page of my website and I want to show more products on this particular website. Okay. So, I mean, this was the practical scenario for one of our customers, and we had done for them, and it was really quite simple and easy. With little bit of technical know-how, you can do this. Okay. So now let me show you how we can do this. So for this, I need to go into basically the install folder, all the files and folder page of the application where it is launched, the iVendy Commerce. Okay, and we need to go into, so for example, let's say I have all the files and folders over here. So typically when you install iVendy Commerce, you'll have all these files and folders, right? This is wherein you have all the details or like in DLL in terms of JS, JavaScript, or ASPX or whatever files that are needed to run that iVendy Commerce. So from here you go into app templates, and then app templates you select that particular skin, which is skin 103, which I'm talking of, and then you need to go into XML packages. Now XML package, you will see several XML packages over here. Let's not divert into a different topic. We select what we need. It is a page.default.xml.config, which normally displays the body part. So we will open it and let us search with new arrival and see if we can find one. Yes, it is there. So herein we can see that this is the tag of XSL, value of select, the package, whatever. This is the new arrivals thing. I think this is not it. Recently sold. Okay, sorry. It should be somewhere here. So new arrival, this is again an xml.config file which is being called over here, right? So for example, how do I find this file? What all is written in this? If I want to show it in a different categories, how do I do that? Now let me take you to that XML package. We selected page.default.xml. This is the page from where that particular detail file is called in. So this other file that was silex.newArrivals.xml.config is also lying in the XML packages. Okay. Now here, if you see, this is the new variables file wherein we have certain query which is extracting data from the database, and there are several lines of code that is written how to display and all those things. We'll not be going into details of that. Let me just tell you something about this. We just need to change the entity ID over here. Now don't change it on the new variables one. You just need to copy this. So I have just copied this. I have just copied this entire silex.newArrivables config file and copied it. I gave it the name silex.newArrivables_my. So let me open this one. Now here I have just entered the entity ID which I want to display it over there. Okay. So this 20 is basically by default what is the number of products that you want to see in this particular widget. And then if I want to search, this is the label that will come. So I want that my label should come as my new arrival. Okay, so I save this and then I go back to my page.default.xml, wherein what you need to do is you need to copy this entire line and you need to select where it should appear. So I just wanted to make it appear, say, just after this. So I copy this line and I will have to call the XML file that I just created, new variables_my. Okay, so I remove the comment that I already did just to faster viewing. Now once I do these changes and save my file, I go back to my page and I will refresh it. So we can see that new variable recently sold is coming. After that, there is no third widget is coming. So as you scroll down, you have new arrival over here, and you can see that there is another widget which is coming as my new arrival, which I just created, right? And with the entity ID that I want to display my products. So this is the entity ID. Now where do you find the entity ID? Basically is you go into the admin console, you click on products and then click on product groups, and here you have categories, departments, which are you can say the different entities that is there, right? So these are the furnitures and fixtures. That is what is coming over there. So this is the admin console from where basically you select an entity ID that you want to display over here, and then accordingly you can display it. Now which is the entity that your new arrival should take? It's basically from the app config new arrival. So you can see that it is section, which is item group or the departments. If it should have been category, so you would need to select a category ID in that case, and you need to place that entity ID, like here it is 31, so in that particular page. Okay. So this is the concept of new arrival widget on home page of Skin 103. So new arrival, basically what you can do is you can create it. So every time what happens, a retailer is coming up with new products and he or she wants to launch them onto the e-commerce portal. So they can create either a new arrival category or a group and map the products onto that, and then they can use that particular ID or the entity to show them as new arrivals, right? So going to the next, so here we'll be seeing commenting the newsletter option in Skin 103 and the store locator link. So why do we need this? At times it happens that there are retailers, if they don't want to have the newsletter option on their e-commerce portal, you can easily comment that. So it's not that newsletter is coming on iVend e-commerce and the shopper will see it, or the retailer does not have any option to remove that. No, there is option. So if some retailer is not willing to show their newsletter option or not willing to continue with newsletter option, so they can easily comment that. Or at the other hand, the store locator link, so if the retailer does not have any physical stores, so what is the use of having the store locator link on the e-commerce portal? There could be a valid scenario for not having that link, because unnecessary people will click on that. They will land up on a page wherein they will not be able to see any information. Because, I mean, all these things play a very vital and important role in e-commerce. Whatever you are trying to show on your e-commerce page, it is very important. So it's always better that if you're not following anything, if you're not having anything, don't show it up on your site. So these how to do this plays a very important role, and you should know it how to do it. So let's see for the newsletter option in Skin 103 and the store locator link. Okay, so now what happens is the newsletter comes on the page of entity. So let me just take you to an entity page. So this is an entity page which I've already opened up for you. So this is apparels mains. You can see it from here, apparels main entity page, right? If you scroll down herein, you can see, I mean, these are all item matrix items. You can shop by color, shop by size, and this is the newsletter option that is coming over here. So these I basically don't want. Or you have the store locator option over here. These also I don't want, right? Now, how to do that? Now, for the newsletter option, we'll go to the same XML packages page, and we'll try and open the entity.grid file, entity.grid with smart scroll compare. So if you open this file and if you try and search for newsletter, you will see that the newsletter widget is there, right? And then if I want to comment this, I will start from here. Sorry, not here. The first line, and I will comment it and then save it, right? And then I go back and try to refresh the page. Sorry. So herein you can see that the newsletter which was coming over here, it has gone now because we have commented that particular thing over here. So now the next point is to not to have the store locator option over here because I don't use it. Okay, so I'll go to the XML packages. It is not over here. It is there in the template master. Okay, so Skin 103, this is the template master, and if I want to search, I need to search for store locator. Okay, so I can see that there is only store locator over here. So this is the line which I need to comment it, right? So you can use and fine. So now if I save this and refresh the page, whether it is a home page or any entity page or the product page, because this is the header on the website, so it will either appear or disappear across the site. So now here you can see that we don't see the store locator link over here. So Frank, as I was discussing, you can remove the link of create new customer or a register link like this. So this is how things can be removed if that is not being used by the shopper or by the retailer. They don't want to show that on to the e-commerce portal. And this is a simple one, so that if you know the page, if you know the location, you can do it, right? And just to let you know before I proceed further, please do have a backup of everything before changing any file in the e-commerce. Take the backup, place it at a proper place so that if required, you want to revert it back, you can revert it back, right? So after this commenting of newsletter and the store locator thing, let's see what we have next. So herein we'll see some good looking sites with the capability of CSS change for skin 105 and 106. So let me show you. Okay, so this is 104, right? This is skin 104 and it really looks nice over here, but somehow I don't like the color. So how do I want to change this blue color to something else, or this green color? So this skin has a capability of providing you several CSS, and also you can create your own CSS by just copy pasting the CSS file, giving it a name, and you want to change the hexadecimal color code in the CSS file. So let me just open the admin console for this so that I can make you understand. Let me log out from my current Ivanti Commerce, go to uh, the skin 104 admin console. So I'll be using several logins, and I have given it a name of with the help of skin ID so that I can show you in a proper way. Now herein you need to go to content and manage skins, from where you will basically manage all your skins. Okay, now here you can see that skin 104 is already selected, and here is the color scheme. So these color kind of schemes is available in only two skins, which is skin 104 and skin 106. Now here there's a combo box which lists all the CSS files that is there, right? If you want to change it from steel blue leaf green to anything like dark magenta or rosy brown, so you like this, let me do it and say apply skin and say reset cache, right? And then I go back to my skin, I refresh my skin. Now you can see the change in the color, right? So if you like it, I mean, within few minutes you can change the look and feel of the color in terms of the color combination, right? Now this gives a bit of fresh look. So this you can change it every day or maybe every hour or something, and you create CSS file according to your, or maybe according to the festival that is happening around in your region. So this helps you in giving a fresh look to the website of Ivanti Commerce. And this is, again, I'm repeating, it is available in 104 and 106. Okay, and let me tell you how you can create the CSS. Okay, So we need to go to the skin 104, save, right? This is the skin or the iVend e-commerce files and folders that you will normally see in wherever it is installed or wherever it is placed. Then go to the app templates and go to that respective skin, and then you have the CSS, right? So herein you can see all those CSS that was coming over here. Let me take you back again to the skins, and herein you can see all those things that is coming over here, right? So herein you can see dark magenta, rosy brown. So if you want to create one, so just Control C, say Control V, and give it a name, or with the help of say Christmas or whatever, and you change the color inside by editing it. So basically you need to take help of a CSS editor, so where you can see the hexadecimal color and you can change it. Now once you change it, and you can refresh it, and then you can see whatever you have created over there. So I've just created my CSS Christmas, so we can see that it is coming, and you select it and then again apply skin and reset cache and refresh the page, so you can see the change in the colors. So this is how easy it is to change the look and feel of your e-commerce portal for skin 104 and 106. So moving on to the next now. So configuring the store locator. So we all know that if a retailer is having the physical stores along with some franchisee stores, they can set it up in iVend e-commerce, and they can easily configure in iVend e-commerce. So what all needs to be done to configure a store locator, right? First and foremost, I'll let you know that we have a specific knowledge article regarding to that. Why I'm saying so is that this will help you to create the store locator thing or configure the store locator in e-commerce. So what is needed is the Google API, and how you want to get, or how you get a Google API. So there's an appendix wherein it is written that how you get your Google API. Okay, so this is the steps that you need to follow. If you already have one, you just need to configure it. Okay, so let me go into admin console of any one of them and just show you how it is done. Go to configuration. So once you obtain your Google API key, you need to enter this Google API key over here, right? And enter the key that you obtain, and then you save and close. So your Google API configuration is done. Now what you need to do is you need to give the geolocations for your store. If it is a brick and mortar store, you need to give your store geolocations using advanced update store geolocations. You click on edit, and you give the latitude and longitude. And remember that you don't need to specify degree north or degree south or something like that. You just need to enter the values, right? So once you enter this is your iVend stores that will come over here. And also remember that these stores should have a proper address in your iVend management consoles. And if you also want to see or show your franchisee stores, we have an option over there where you can basically configure those. So you go to customers and you click on add edit franchisee. So you can see that these stores are being configured over here. So if you click on that, you need to enter all the details of the franchisee where your products are found. So also you can enter like phone number and other details along with the latitude and longitude values. So once you're done with this and the setup is done from the admin console, then if anybody clicks on the store locator, so for example I click on store locator over here, then all those stores will come over here. So you can see that this was a Greenfield store, which was a physical brick and mortar store, and these are the franchisee store that has been created. So if you sorry, these are provided with links. If you click on the links, it will take you directly to that particular store, and you can also search with the city and zip over here. All right. So this is how it happens and what all configurations that you need to do in terms of the store locator. Now this is very helpful when you are running an e-commerce portal and you also have event stores or the franchisee store. So the shopper might find a nearby store from where they can purchase, and this also might help in the concept of click and collect. So you can order online and then you collect it from the store, right? Now going back to the next one, configuring the chat service. So I mean, in e-commerce world, this chat service plays a very important role because this is the communication which happens directly with the shopper when they are browsing the site, when they are doing purchase on the site, or they are trying to find something. So basically, you as a store administrator or a store executive, you want to help your customer to find something, because you know you are the best person to know how your store or each store is organized in terms of categories, in terms of brands, or in terms of the products. So you can help the customer. So customer might ask you that, okay, I'm looking for this particular product, can you help me finding that? So you can send you the URL over the chat window, or you can say that go to this category, click on here, click on that, and then you will be able to find that particular product, or search by this particular string. So I mean, chat is a very important feature, and it should constitute as an integral part for your iVend e-commerce portal. So how do you configure a chat? And configuring a chat is a very easy task in iVend e-commerce. What needs to be done from the customer's perspective or the retailer's perspective is that the retailer needs to take a license chat service from a chat service provider, and the chat service provider in turn will provide a block of code which needs to be copied down into the admin console of iVend e-commerce. So let me take you to the content, manage topics, and say live chat over here. So once you click on live chat and you open the live chat, and don't paste the code in the design mode. So paste it in the HTML mode and you are done with it. So don't look at this. This is not the actual code, how it looks like. It looks something as different. Let me try and show you if I am able to. So content, manage topics, live chat, and here you click on live chat. See, here you can see nothing, so don't paste it on this. You go to the HTML, and the code block is this one. So this is basically what will be given by your chat service provider. And once you are done with this, then definitely when you open your site, so whether it is Red Bull, or whether it is Iglesias, or whether it is WW, whatever site, so it will automatically appear on the bottom right hand corner, right? So here you can see the chat with us. So if you click on that, it appears something like that. Now the interface might be different from one chat service provider to the other chat service provider, but this is how it works. So your chat service provider will also provide you with an URL to open an admin console. So that will let you know who all are currently browsing the site, and which page they are in, or what they are looking into, kind of thing. And it again depends from one chat service provider to the other chat service provider based on the feature functionalities that they provide on the chat. Okay, so this was how you configure the chat service thing onto your iVend e-commerce. Moving to the next, another very good topic, because sometimes the customer or the retailer asks you to look for certain features, functionalities, policies, and they want to add on a new one to the existing one. So how this can be done? So for example, if you look at the footer of my website over here, I scroll down. So my footer, I have my account, personal information, addresses, whatever, with the links or the information, shipping and return policy, terms and conditions, security, why I went e-commerce, so etc. I want to add another one because I have few more policies maybe, right? So as I can see that I don't have the cancellation policy. So I want the cancellation policy to appear over here. So for example, let me open this. This will help you in getting ready-made text. So what I'll do is I'll go back to my admin console. How do I do that? I'll just tell you. So let me log in. So once I log in, I go to the content, manage topics, and I type footer. So in the footer, I look for, since this was skin 105 footer, I look for footer, skin 105 footer. But before that, I need to create a page which I want to name it, and then I will go to this particular footer and link it, right? So how do we create a topic? So for example, I click on add new. I say my footer as cancel policy, right? And what I can do, I can create the entire HTML thing with the help of HTML editor, or if I have certain text, I can just paste it. Just to make it fast, what I'll do is I'll just copy this few lines maybe and go there. But you can create your own content. That is that you can do. So this is I'm doing on the design view. So HTML is already being automatically being coded inside that. I want to make it as published, and I'll just copy this. I click on save and close. Now I go to footer. This is my skin 105 footer. So I'll look in for skin 105 footer. So once that is done, I go into the information section, so which is this one, fine. And if I want to place here or somewhere else, I can do that. But let me do this just after this probably. So this was my page. So I copy this, I do an enter, I copy the name of the topic, and I just say T hyphen over here. So this is a topic. This is how you write. Once you create a topic, then you need to prefix with T hyphen and the name that you have given to that particular topic, and with a .spx file. The system knows now. Now here I want to appear as cancellation policy. I click on save and close, reset the cache, and then I go back and I click on, say, iVend e-commerce. Okay, so I scroll down and see whether my changes has taken into effect. Yes, so this was not there. This is the cancellation policy which I have created, as a link over here. I have created the page, I have formatted it, and I have added it over a link. So if I click on this link, so this is going to open over here. So you can see that whatever changes I have made, it has appeared over here. So in this way, basically, you can add links to your footer by creating the topic and then adding that topic as a link onto the footer. And everything is happening from a single location, that is the footer, the topics from admin console. Okay. Now, what is my next topic in the agenda? Oh, changing the footer format. Again, this is another very important thing. I mean, Ivan e-commerce does not restrict you to continue the same footer for as long as you want, kind of thing. Uh, Not as long as you want. I mean, for the rest of your life, you can change the footer provided you have a designer who can design it for you, or you can ask for any from any of the web designer who can design a good footer for you with a little knowledge of as I was saying, that how you want to change uh, the footer, from where it should be changed. You should know all those basic things of Ivan e-commerce. So basically, I can see that I have a footer right now, like with this background and everything. Now I want to change the footer to something like this. So what I had done is I have asked one of our designer to get it changed for me. So they had written the code for me. What I'll just do is, in front of you, it will look something like this. So this is the new footer code, and this is the old original one, the black one, which currently is appearing over here. So this is this one. So what I'll do is I will apply the new footer code over here, which is again the manage topics thing. So I go over there, scan 105 footer. I go to the HTML, I do a complete selection, I delete it, and I save and close. So then I go back. See, this is my footer as of now. I just refresh my page. And if I scroll down, the footer got changed to this. Now there are certain things that needs to be noticed over here. So this is an image over here. So this image, you need to place it at a particular place and change the location. This, the color, the size, the font, whatever. I mean, these are the styles. So your web designer will be knowing all these things. So basically what I'm trying to convey here is that yes, you can change the footer of your Ivan e-commerce portal. It's not that whatever is coming as default with Ivan e-commerce, you are going to continue with that. You can change it. It is possible. It is flexible enough to adapt to any other changes that you want to have it as a footer over here. Okay, so this was one of the very important topic. Now going next, we have the shipping scheduler in Ivan e-commerce. So to talk something about the shipping scheduler is that there could be a scenario wherein you supply vegetables or groceries or livestock as a retailer to your customers. So it could be possible that your delivery van runs either in the morning or in the evening or both times. So Ivan e-commerce basically gives you that flexibility to your shopper to choose from whether they want the delivery in the morning or the delivery in the evening, if you are applying morning as well as evening in the area. So how do you do that? So you go to the configurations, and basically you need to go to the shipping rates table. scroll down, you need to see all those shipping methods, and you need to mark the shipping method that you want as to be scheduled. So here you can see that I have marked the UPS one as this is scheduled one, right? So once you mark this, save it in the system, then you go into the delivery store mapping. You open the delivery store mapping of that locality where you want to have it, and then you click on set schedule delivery. This will open up a screen wherein you can configure your vehicle. So here I can see that whatever shipping methods are configured as is schedule will come over here. Then you can see that, okay, I'll deliver it you by 12 p.m. if you book by say 11, okay, or 9, whatever you want to give it. And these are the vehicles that you need to create first in the system. So from where you can create the vehicles, so we have a vehicle master over here. Click on configuration, go to the vehicle and click on, and you can create the master of vehicles. This is just the vehicle list. And then you can select the days, whether your vehicle goes on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or all of the days on a week. Okay, so once this is configured, you can, now this will be displayed on the shopper console. I'll come to the shopper console, but let me finish with the exception management as well. Now what is exception management in this particular screen? This is basically, it might happen that in festival days or in a rush hour day, you want to ply your vehicle normally, say twice the time that you run normally, so 4 times a day. So then you need to define the same kind of schedule over here. So that will help you in managing the rush hour or the festival days. So that is how it happens over here. So once this is configured, and once you go back to the shoppers console, let me just log in into the system so that I can show you how it appears. Okay, so let me just take an item to the cart. And start the checkout process. So this is my shopping cart page, and I click on checkout. Since I have already logged in, it will take me to the shipping options page. So this is where I will be displayed. For example, as I showed you that my UPS was scheduled. So if I click on DHL, it doesn't show anything. So if I select UPS, I can see that there's a combo box that is coming. So these are the dates wherein these are scheduled. This is coming based on the scheduled I had done from the admin console, and we can see the dates are coming. So as soon as I select a date, based on the availability of the time, it will show me the time as well. So now since we can see that the morning schedule has already elapsed, so I have not been shown the morning time over here. It is showing me the evening time, that on this particular date you have only the time, the evening time. If you want the delivery by 7 p.m., you can select the 7 p.m. So let me check. I want a morning delivery, so whatever date it is, let me go for the 11, and then I select time, and probably this has not been configured on the morning time on this day, right? Okay, so on 12th I find that there is a morning delivery as well. So I select the day 12 and then click on 10, and then I select shipping method, and I continue the checkout process, and my order is booked, right? So in this way, basically, the scheduled delivery works, and it really helps for retailers, those who deals in livestock, groceries, vegetables, etc. So let's take to the Next one, sending welcome mail after the initialization. Okay, so this is another very important one. How do you do that? Now, welcome mail are basically is sent to the customers who are already there in the system, and you as a retailer is opening your e-commerce portal to your existing shoppers. So how do you welcome? So there is a welcome mail configuration wherein you can do all those settings. So for example, customers, and you click on welcome mail. So all the customers will arrive over here who has not been sent the welcome mail. So for example, I select mine. Let me see. I think, yeah, I have it. Okay, fine. So now if I say that, okay, select this checkbox and I select on send mail. Now the system will do is system will send a welcome email to this particular customer. So in this way, you can welcome your existing shoppers into the system. So if I open Gmail, probably I will be able to show you how it comes. Yeah, see here. So this is the details with this. Your login information is this and your password is this. So as soon as you enter this password, it will ask you to change the password, right? So this is a welcome email. You can change the text that is coming over here, right? Whatever is coming based on your company and everything, right? So going to the next now. Handling customers from Ivan POS with the password. Okay, so we are talking of an environment wherein we have Ivan physical stores, as well as we are coming up with the e-commerce portal as well. So you have customers, those who are getting registered on the POS, and those registers are customers are coming in your e-commerce as well. So you provide the email, and the integration engine takes care of sending the welcome email as soon as that customer is coming to the e-commerce portal. Now at times it happens that you don't have the password of sorry, not the password, you don't have the email address at the time of creation of the customer in Ivan POS. So maybe at later point in time, after pursuing the customer, you enter the email. So you can enter that email, or you can call that person and take the email ID and do the password changing manually from the admin console, and that will be sent to your customer. So what I'm trying to talk basically over here is go to customers, manage contacts, find that customer using the filters, and then you open up, and herein, if you go here, you can set the password of that particular customer, or this particular setting or this particular box can be used to change password for any of the customers. So for example, a customer calls in the call center and asks to change the password or reset the password. You basically change the password over here and you click on manual set password, and email will be sent to that email ID, provided you have the email ID over here, will be sent, the password will be sent to that particular email ID. So the customer, when logs in with that password and the email ID, he or she will be asked to change the password. Okay. Okay. So next in the session is the payment profile setup, which happens to be the last topic for the webinar session today. So just to give you an idea why this is needed and how this can be configured. This is a very extensive screen wherein you can have the payment setup. Basically, for example, let me take you to the screen so that you get a better understanding of this configuration, and then click on payment profile. Herein already is defined. So let me take any one of them, say electronics checkout, for example. Okay, so on the left hand side, name and the priority, whether it is active or inactive. And if you see that these are the payment options that is configured in the system as of now, right? So just to show you, if I go there and start begin checkout process, It will show me all the options that I just show you. I select the shipping method. Now here you can see that I have credit card, purchase order, request a quote, I will pay a COD. Okay, so credit card, request code, purchase order, COD, all those are coming on the payment options page because the support is provided with that. Now what this particular setting is doing is it has enabled section 8, which is basically the electronics. So when an item from electronics is added into the shopping cart, I want that shopper to be shown only the credit card and the purchase order as the checkout payment options, not the other two, right? Request code and COD. So I want the customer to check out either by credit card or by purchase order as soon as an electronics item is added to the cart. So this is how it is configured in payment profile, and this is how you can restrict the payment options based on the conditions that is available over here. All these are conditions, and if you want to apply multiple one, these all works in AND. So this and this is true, then accordingly it will show up the payment options. So now let me just go to an electronic sections and add just a camera to my shopping cart, and let's see what happens. So I click add to the cart, and if I go there and click on begin checkout, say click on checkout now, I select the shipping method, and in the payment option you can see that I have only been shown the purchase order and the credit card and not any other option over here. But normally I was seeing four options otherwise. So now I can see only the credit card and purchase order because I had the electronics items added onto my cart. So in this way, basically you can set up your payment options page, and basically how your what are the different payment options should appear on what condition kind of thing. So this is another very flexible and effective way to filter down the payment options with respect to the items or certain conditions that are available on the payment profile screen. Okay. So okay, so with this I have covered all the topics that was scheduled for today, and I open the session now for any queries or questions from you all. So just let me know if you have any questions regarding the topics which I have covered today. I hope this was very helpful to discuss amongst your customers, your retailer, or amongst your colleagues, so that you know what are the capabilities, the flexibilities of R&D commerce and how it can be done. Okay, it seems that we don't have any questions as of now to answer. So I am assuming that all the topics that I discussed today was clear to you all, and you'll gain benefits out of them. Let me know if you have any questions regarding the topics that I have discussed today. You can write me at my email ID suvendu.paul@cityaccess.com. So with this, I am ending the webinar. Thank you once again for joining the webinar, and I look forward to see you all again. The same webinar will be scheduled next Thursday at a different time zone, the CST time zone. So if you wish to join, you can join there as well. Thank you, and have a great day or great night depending on the region that you are located.